The 1962 FIFA World Cup was the seventh FIFA World Cup. It was held from May 30 to June 17, 1962 in Chile. Teams representing 57 national football associations from all 6 populated continents entered the competition, with its qualification process beginning in August 1960. 14 teams qualified from this process, along with host nation Chile and defending champion Brazil, for the finals tournament. The tournament was won by champions Brazil, who claimed their second World Cup title by defeating Czechoslovakia 3-1 in the final, becoming the second team, after Italy in 1938, to successfully defend the world title. Hosts Chile beat Yugoslavia 1-0 to finish third. The 1962 FIFA World Cup was the first World Cup that used goal average as a means of separating teams with the same amount of points. This atmosphere culminated in the infamous first-round match between host Chile and Italy, known as the Battle of Santiago. The average goals per match dropped to 2.78, under 3 for the first time in the history of the competition. Host selection. After Europe hosted 2 consecutive World Cups, the American federations claimed the 1962 edition must be held in South America or face a complete boycott of the tournament, similar to 1938. Argentina, after previously failed candidacies, was the favorite. Magalane's chairman, Ernesto Alvear, attended a FIFA Congress held in Helsinki while the Finnish city was hosting the 1952 Summer Olympics. He considered that Chile was able to organize the World Cup. Several sources also say that FIFA did not want Argentina to run alone, requesting the participation of Chile as almost symbolic. Chile registered its candidacy in 1954 alongside Argentina and West Germany, the latter withdrawing at the request of FIFA. Chile's Football Federation Committee, led by Carlos Ditborn and Juan Pinto Jurien, toured many countries convincing various football associations about the country's ability to organize the tournament in comparison to Argentina's superior sports infrastructure and prestige. The FIFA Congress met in Lisbon, Portugal on June 10, 1956. That day, Raúl Colombo, representing Argentina's candidacy, ended his speech with the phrase "We can start the World Cup tomorrow. We have it all." The next day, Ditborn presented 4 arguments that supported Chile's candidacy: Chile's continued participations at FIFA-organized conferences and tournaments, sports climate, tolerance of race and creed, and political and institutional stability of the country. In addition, Ditborn invoked Article 2 of the FIFA statutes that addressed the tournament's role in promoting the sport in countries deemed underdeveloped. Chile won 32 votes to Argentina's 11. 13 members abstained from voting. Qualification. 57 teams entered the 1962 World Cup. Chile as host nation and Brazil as reigning World Cup champions were granted automatic qualification, with the remaining 14 finals places divided among the continental confederations. 8 places were contested by UEFA teams and 3 by CONMEBOL teams. CAF teams, AFC teams, NAFC teams, and CCCF teams contested 3 playoff slots. The 3 winners would then face a European or South American team for entry into the World Cup. The 1962 tournament was the last one for which only nations from Europe or the Americas qualified. 2 teams qualified for the first time, Colombia and Bulgaria. Colombia did not qualify for another World Cup until 1990. Among the teams who failed to qualify were Sweden and France. Austria withdrew during the qualification tournament. Venues. Originally, 8 stadiums were selected to host the World Cup matches in 8 different cities: Santiago, Via ± Del Mar, Rancagua, Arica, Talca, Concepción, Talcahuano and Valdivia. The Valdivian earthquake, the most powerful earthquake ever recorded, occurred on May 22, 1960. With over 50,000 casualties and more than 2 million people affected, the earthquake forced the organizing committee to completely modify the World Cup's calendar. Talca, Concepción, Talcahuano and Valdivia were severely damaged and discarded as venues. Antofagasta and Valparaiso declined to host any matches as their venues were not financially self-sustainable. Via plus or minus Adelmar and Arica managed to rebuild their stadiums, while Braden Copper Company, then an American company that controlled the El Teniente copper mine, allowed the use of his stadium in Rancagua. Accommodation, squads. Squads for the 1962 World Cup consisted of 22 players, as for the previous tournament in 1958, with the exception of Uruguay. Ferenc Puskás S., Jose Copyright Santa Mara A and Jose Copyright Altafni became 3 of 4 players ever to play for 2 different national teams. In light of this, FIFA created stipulations describing that once a player represents a nation during a World Cup or its qualifying rounds, the player cannot switch to another national team. Match officials. 18 match officials from 17 countries were assigned to the tournament to serve as referees and assistant referees. Seeding, format. The format of the competition was similar to the 1958 competition. 16 teams qualified, divided into 4 groups of 4. 4 teams were seeded in the draw taking place in Santiago de Chile, on January 18, 1962, Brazil, England, Italy and Uruguay. The top 2 teams in each group advanced to the quarter-finals. 2 points were awarded for a win and 1 for a draw. In a change from the 1958 format, goal average was used to separate any teams equal on points. Argentina became the first team in World Cup history to be eliminated on goal average when England advanced from Group 4 in second place. In the knockout games, if the teams were level after 90 minutes, 30 minutes of extra time were played. For any match other than the final, if the teams were still even after extra time, then lots would be drawn to determine the winner. The final would have been replayed if even after extra time. In the event, no replays or drawing of lots was necessary. Summary: in May 1960, as the preparations were well underway, Chile suffered the largest earthquake ever recorded, which caused enormous damage to the national infrastructure. In the face of this, Carlos Ditborn, the president of the organization committee, coined the phrase, "Because we don't have anything, we will do everything in our power to rebuild," which became the unofficial slogan of the tournament. Stadia and other infrastructure were rebuilt at record speed and the tournament occurred on schedule with no major organizational flaw. Ditborn did not live to see the success of his efforts, as he died 1 month before the start of the tournament. The World Cup venue at Arica was named Estadio Carlos Ditborn in his honor and bears his name to this day. As the competition began, a shift in strategy was imminent. Defensive strategies began to take hold as the average goals per match dropped to 2.78, under 3 for the first time in competition history. Pele Copyright was injured in the second group match against Czechoslovakia. The USSR's goalkeeper Lev Yashin, arguably the world's best at the time, was in poor form and his team went out to Chile in the quarter-finals. Bright spots included the emergence of the young Brazilians Amarildo and Garinca, the heroics of Czechoslovakia goalkeeper William Schroof against Hungary and Yugoslavia, and the performance of the host nation Chile, who took third place with a squad of relatively unknown players. The competition was marred by violence. This poisonous atmosphere culminated in the infamous first-round match between host Chile and Italy, known as the Battle of Santiago. 2 Italian journalists had written unflattering articles about the host country. Although only 2 players were sent off by the English referee Ken Aston, the match saw repeated attempts from players on both sides to harm opponents, and the Italian team needed police protection to leave the field in safety. In the first round, Brazil topped their group with Czechoslovakia finishing second, above Mexico and Spain. USSR and Yugoslavia finished above Uruguay and Colombia. Hungary, along with England, progressed to the quarter-finals, while Argentina and Bulgaria were eliminated. England had the same number of points as Argentina but progressed due to a superior goal average. The first time such a requirement had been necessary in a World Cup finals tournament. Switzerland lost all 3 games while West Germany and Chile both went through over Italy. Chile defeated European champions USSR to earn a semi-final game against the winner of the England-Brazil game. Garinca scored 2 goals in a 3-1 win against England. Meanwhile, 1-0 wins for Yugoslavia against West Germany. and another one a Euro-0 win of Czechoslovakia against neighbours Hungary. A Euro saw the two Slavic states meet in the semi-finals. Via plus or minus a Del Mar was the original venue for the South American semi-final and Santiago for the Slavic one, but due to Chile's surprise qualification, the organisers prompted FIFA to switch the venues. This irritated crowds in Via plus or minus a Del Mar, and only a little under 6,000 spectators came to Estadio Sausalito to watch Czechoslovakia beat Yugoslavia 3-1, whereas a capacity crowd of 76,600 in Santiago watched Brazil beat the hosts 4-2. This game saw Garrincha sent off for Brazil and Honorino Landa sent off for Chile. Chile eventually took third place in a 1-0 victory over Yugoslavia with the very last play of the match. The same player, Eladio Rojas, had also scored the winning goal in Chile's game against USSR. Santiago's Estadio Nacional served as the venue for the final, and after 15 minutes, Brazil again found themselves a goal behind in the World Cup final, as a long ball from Adolf Schürrer was latched onto by Josef Massa past 1-0 Czechoslovakia. As in the previous final in 1958, Brazil soon hit back, equalizing 2 minutes later through Amarildo after an error by Czechoslovak goalkeeper Schroef. The Brazilians scored goals from Zito and Vava midway through the second half. The Czechoslovaks could not get back into the game. The match ended 3-1 to Brazil, a successful defense of the title for only the second time in the history of the competition in spite of the absence of one of their star players of 1958, Pele Copyright, who was replaced by Amarildo. Results: Group Stage, Group 1. Group 2. Group 3. Group 4, England finished ahead of Argentina on goal average. Knockout Stage, Quarter-finals. Semi-finals. Third place match. Final. Goal scorers: 4 goals, 3 goals, Amarildo, Adolf Schürrer, Lajos Tiki, Milan Galia. 2 goals, 1 goal. FIFA retrospective ranking. In 1986, FIFA published a report that ranked all teams in each World Cup up to and including 1986, based on progress in the competition, overall results and quality of the opposition. The rankings for the 1962 tournament were as follows. Footnotes. External links: 1962 FIFA World Cup on FIFA.com, details at RSSSF, History of the World Cup 1962.